Good morning. This is about to be the weekly tarot reading, week 3. And as is normal, I have already filmed it. So I already know what's going to happen. But I'm not going to talk about it just quite yet. And, but I want to kind of talk about theme. And for the past 2 weeks, we've kind of seen the, a theme happening. This week breaks from that a little bit, but I think it's important that it does. Um, Also, I forgot while I was filming the name of the tarot deck that I'm using. I have just remembered it. I'm using the Revelations tarot deck. It is the same deck that I used last week, and it's very lovely. It has kind of like a stained glass feeling, and it also is specifically designed for reversals because um, I'm gonna take a card that's not one of the ones that I pulled for this week. See, this is the Emperor. And so you see, like, this is the Emperor upright, but if it comes up reversed, it has a specific image that comes up for the Emperor reversed. So, yeah, I really like that because I do read reversals. And I don't know what's going on, but for the weekly tarot readings, I come up with a lot of reversals. I don't think I've come up with any upright cards so far, and I don't know what's going on with that. Um, but I know a lot of people who don't read reversals, and I know a lot of people who say that reading reversals is something that you grow out of as you grow as a tarot reader. I don't know if I believe that's true, but I have noticed that for a while there, I didn't get any reversals, and it didn't seem to matter. But here, the last 3 weeks for the weekly readings, I've gotten nothing but reversals. So I don't know. Anyway, that's just my introduction, and so let's go into the reading, and then afterwards we'll have a little bit of a discussion about the reading and what it means. So, see you in a bit. Somehow we still ended up all reversed, so this is interesting. All right, I'm once again using the, I have forgotten the name of this tarot deck. This may not be a good morning for me. Um, I'll put it in later once I remember what it is. Oh my goodness. So, uh, we've got the King of Swords reversed, we've got Strength reversed, and we've got the King of Wands reversed. So I would be wary of taking in from last week's theme of running off half cocked. I definitely still be wary of doing that. But this speaks more of losing sight of how your actions will affect other people. I'm talking specifically about the King of Swords here because the King of Swords represents a man who is strong and powerful and in control, but can often be so in control of his own emotions that he can become cold and often uh, other people will think of him as being this stern taskmaster, and they don't connect with him because he's so isolated emotionally from everybody. So that's who the King of Swords is. And then you've got the King of Swords reversed. So this is a King of Swords who loses that control. Okay, and something happens that just breaks that control for him. And this is when he gets to the point where he might say or do something that any connections he might have been able to make, he will break. So be wary of doing that. Whatever's going on in your life, remember that your actions and your words have consequences for other people as well as yourself. And remember that whatever's going on, you have inner strength. This is about, you know, losing sight of your inner strength, okay? So whatever is going on here, um, this is not going to lead to a good thing. Because this King of Wands is a man who has been through some shit, okay? And he has not come out the better for it. We all need to be looking towards those things this week that will challenge us. And I'm not talking about, oh, we're challenging ourselves to be better people, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about challenges that will break us. This week, we need to be looking at where our lives are so difficult that they could break us. And we need to prepare for that. And we need to be, we need to not forget about the strength that we have, okay? Because this is a weekly pool. This is a weekly theme. So while our lives are longer than a week, and while there's no beginning or end to our stories, because yes, we're born and then we die, but there are people who are here before we're born that once we're born will affect, and there are people that once we die will leave them behind, and our legacy will affect them after we're gone. So our stories really have no beginning or end, but certain facets of them, or certain, let's say chapters, do. So that's another thing. I mean, I don't see the world here, but I think it's important for us to remember that whatever it is that's going on this week, whatever it is that's going on in your life, it is important to remember that it is temporary, that the wheel will turn and we'll come back to a better place, okay? So this week is maybe about losing hope, and trying not to. Don't lose hope. Don't forget your strength. Don't let the circumstances break you. And don't become an angry, vengeful person. This spread is about what not to do, okay? Don't do this. Don't let this happen. Whatever challenges you are facing, whatever is going on in your life, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But don't let it break you, for your sake and for the sake of everybody in your life. Okay, guys. So that was kind of intense, huh? I honestly actually don't know what else I can say to that. And that's kind of why I stopped when I did, because I realized that I was having the discussion that I wanted to reserve for this portion of the video. I think what I can say, let's go into this. I'm pagan, and not all tarot readers are pagan, but a lot of tarot readers are pagan. And paganism and new agey and a lot of this kind of religion, or new age isn't really a religion, but have this thing about positivity, and you can manifest change in your own life, and you only are dealing with pain because you allow yourself to have pain. That, you can change your attitude to things. There's some truth to that, and I'm saying this because of my own life and my own situations and the ways that I have learned and grown over the years. I'm almost 40 years old, guys. I know I don't look it. I'm 37. I just turned 37 back in April. There's some truth to that. You can change your attitudes. You can change the way that you think about things. You can change the way that you react to what's going on in your life. But only to a certain extent. And doing this is especially difficult for people who have depression, anxiety, and other illnesses like this. I'm Pagan. I'm also a student of psychology. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm about to begin a master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. It's not going to be clinical psychology, but I'm a proponent of getting treatment, going to therapy, psychological medications if necessary. And I know that for people who have these kinds of mental illnesses, that just changing the way that you think is not going to be as easy. It can still happen. That's what therapy is for. Therapy is to help with coping mechanisms. It's to help you learn different ways of processing what's going on in your head, different ways of dealing with it, different ways of reacting, and eventually different ways of feeling and thinking. But clinical depression is different. And there are certain mental illnesses that need medication. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, any more than there's anything wrong with me taking medication because I have hypothyroidism. And I take medication for that. I take medication for high blood pressure. I take all kinds of medications. And that nobody would ever tell me, well, some people, but, we don't listen to them. There's no difference between that and mental health medications. You do what you need to be better, to feel better, to do better. That's how I feel about it. So the reason I'm talking about this is because this week's reading was so intense and it seemed so negative. And there was this theme in what I was saying of don't let this happen, don't do this, don't think about it this way. And I know that for some of you it won't be that easy. And I don't want to make it seem like I do think that. Maybe it's intended for those of you who need it, for me to just say, this is the week that if you need that kind of help and haven't gotten it yet, then it's time. I know not everybody can afford to go to therapy. Look around in your hometown. There may be somewhere like a YWCA, a YMCA that offers either free or pay what you can when you can therapy. There may be a program for people who can, to get them into therapy as they need. Oh, my lighting went away. Actually, maybe it's a little better without that, but look into the options, okay? Don't just say, well, I can't afford that and I can't go. Look into the options, see what you can do. Contact me. And I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I will do what I can to help. I'll help you look into and see if there are programs in your area, if nothing else. I'm not a licensed therapist, okay? I cannot give you therapy myself. I cannot do that. It's illegal and it's unethical. But I can help you find licensed therapists in your area maybe, or programs that offer group therapy, which, is better than nothing. And we'll, but what I'm saying is that if you're afraid that going to therapy means you're broken, it doesn't. Okay? It means that you want to live. It means that you want to have a better life. It means that you want to feel better. That's all that means. It means that you want to do what you have to do for yourself. And that's a good thing. That is the best thing that you can be for yourself. Okay? So, whatever it is that this reading is talking about for you, I don't mean to say that you can just flip a switch in your brain and feel better. I know you can't. But you have options. And I want to see you take advantage of those options. And I want to see you do better for yourself. Okay? All right. That's it for this week, guys. Just remember that you are all beautiful and you are made of stardust. Bye-bye. Also, I'm very pleased that my phone didn't fall off. Yay, Gorilla Glue!